Welcome to Ellie Goldsmith's Relationship Flow. We are doing a special episode before it gets really rock and roll busy for Pesach, Passover 2023. It's one of the busiest times in the Jewish calendar. And being that, we're focused on relationships, and this is a big part of our flow this time of year, the spring months, and it's important that we squeeze in an episode. I'm hoping, praying I'll be able to include my soulmate, wonderful lady Masha, aka Teeny Pops 613. That's Instagram, check it out. And I have a lot of exciting news as well from my daughter. She wants to keep more anonymous, but if you go to Rivkala Shoe Collection or Face Treatment on YouTube, you'll be able to check out her sites. Also on Instagram, she's putting up some nice art. And it's exciting to see slowly my family getting into a more creative space in terms of the online world. Obviously, it's it has to be done carefully and sensitively. So I'll put the link below. But I can't make a big deal out of it because she wants to build up the traffic organically and not connect it to everything that's going on around and around. So we'll be respectful of the process. But really, what I ask anyone who does see it to check it out and give it some encouragement online by liking it and sharing it, as well as obviously our relationship flow. And the good news with the relationship flow is we had some interest from a cool guy who has a book called The Middle Ground. I did appear so far just by myself in the podcast, and that's the hope that we're going to do another aspect to that episode for Glenn Sandifer. We're going to hopefully have a second part where my wife will actually appear on the episode. Right now it's just me recording with him, and we did about 45 minutes or so. I did put up the one side of the conversation on Instagram Live, but I would like to get the full edited version up as soon as possible with my wife as well, and that's hopefully coming soon. So you can check out Glenn Sandifer, The Middle Ground. Good focus relationship coach, especially with dating and marriage and that kind of stuff. So something which is needed. We need the right tools and system to be able to do that process successfully. Thankfully, being married and having my soulmate is a big blessing, so I don't have to go through that difficult story. But I just had good news from my local community that one of the guys who's in his mid-40s just got engaged to another lady who's also gone through marriage and we met. This is their second marriage, both of them. And it's just amazing the journey they've gone on to find each other in the process and get married. Very inspirational. I can't give any details, obviously not a public thing, but the main point is that there is hope no matter how difficult life can sometimes be in a relationship space. The hope is there, and that's what we're giving you right now with the spring months, the busy time, to keep that mindset of hopefulness. Even when things get challenging, I'm going to keep this short because I do have a meeting in about 10 minutes, as well as it's a busy day, end of week. As I'm trying to explain that basically next week is already the Chodesh of Nisan, the month of Nisan. It's a renewal, a fresh energy, but it also means there's a lot to do with the preparations for the festival here in the Holy Land, as well as all the other daily grind of keeping up, the workflow and Emunah Flow podcast, Unity Flow podcast, all the other podcasts we're busy with. I'm going to hopefully do an update over there because we have some developments on the Unity Inspire projects.com with the Unity bookings, and I want to just keep everything moving, and we'll put the links below as well for the United Souls extract, which has there also all these links. We're trying to keep everything connected, interconnected, interdependent, and thank God the United Souls extract 28 is a very important part of my journey, and I'm sharing it already this last week. So guys, check it out in the link, and hopefully one day we'll get the book published. And respect to those who manage it, like Glenn managed to get out a very good book, and he'll be getting out a second book apparently. So it's amazing. There's a lot of good things going on, and we have to show appreciation that there's interest out there for what we're doing, and it's a mutual collaborative mindset. So for my soulmate, thank God she's been busy with doing Mada, Makadot Adam, and it takes up a lot of time with the children and running their chugim and all the different activities they're up to. Had my oldest son from the army back home, and it's exciting, all the developments for the kids. That was also very time consuming, as well as doing exercise. She's back doing that, and she's a high level superstar in the exercise realm, and it's amazing that she's awakened that talent. And once again, that gives me hope that there's, even if there's going to be time periods where you need to take a break or do something else, you can always come back to what you're passionate about and re-engage, especially if you're on a high level like she is. And all those fortunate people are going to learn from her, and hopefully we'll hear from her soon. But what I would like to put into this next 5 minutes before we round up and before we hopefully get the opportunity to have my Soulmate feature for the second part here as well on my Relationship Flow podcast, we'd like just to give you some hope and freedom energy. There's a lot of freeing up of the soul during these next few weeks. We're cleaning our homes, we're cleaning our beings. That's one of the activities before Pesach, Passover. We need to clean out all the chametz, all the things that block us, and all the preventations, all the things that are manias, turn them into ne'imus, netzach, the idea of bringing all the preventations to something that becomes pleasant. As Rabbi Nachman explains, Rabbi Nachman Feiger ben Simcha, the idea that we transform this whole time period. I mean, Rosh Chodesh Nisan itself is the Yom Yoledet, the birthday of Rabbi Nachman. I'll talk about it next week, and is our future podcast. But the concept is a power of renewal, and the women, in my experience, the ones I know, have a tremendous intuition and attachment to the time periods. They're in tune, just like the concept of a woman's period, and there's a certain connection with the month, the monthly calendar, with the moon calendar, with the concept of being aware of each time and tuning in, and therefore they have a power to want to clean and want to renew their home. I mean, you don't have to go as far as spring cleaning, because really this isn't the time to do that. That's usually a more quieter time of year, like say in October, November, after the festival of Tishrei, after Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. That's usually a good time, from my experience, to do the actual spring cleaning, even though it's autumn. But this concept of spring cleaning, Erev Pesach, is sometimes can confuse you with what you actually have to do, and therefore create too much pressure. So it's important to do it with a freeing mindset, with a simcha, with a joy. The famous line in Yiddish is a freilich in Pesach and a kosher in Purim, because you're always going to make Purim happy and you're always going to make Pesach kosher. The key is to bring the happiness into the Pesach times, not get overwhelmed by all the cleaning and preparations for the festival. We have a full week together with our family. Most men and women are off work, or if they're not, then at least the beginning days and end days are off work, and then they have the opportunity to spend time with the kids, because the kids aren't generally in school, and it's a very powerful time to really connect. And the mindset of freedom, of chayus, it's a festival of freedom. We're going out of Mitzrayim, out of all our restrictions. And one of the beautiful things I just learned today and last night, I was learning with my new chavrusa, Dr. Chaim, the concept of the truth of this chadshus, this renewal that comes out Shabbos Chodesh. This Shabbos is Shabbos HaChodesh, Parshas HaChodesh. That day renewal, there's a special light that comes down specifically while we're still in Mitzrayim, while we're still in the restrictions, while we're still in the difficult time period. Like right now globally, there's a lot of pressure on people financially, and before the festival, a person can feel a bit overwhelmed. How are you going to pay for this, pay for that? Reach out here, reach out there, try to do more shtalas, try work harder, try to bring in more income. Maybe you have to take a loan, God forbid. All these kind of things that are going on, and there's very high interest right now, so it can be very challenging. But what we try and do is tune into the energy of the flow that brings that success. One of them is the relationship flow, that by having a good, stable relationship with our partner, focusing on the good, not creating pressure, being supportive, being empathetic, all the different good things that people talk about nowadays in relationship space, this is really necessary more than ever during the build-up to the festival, and to bring that feeling of freedom, that you're not getting enslaved to the work that needs to be done, or the pressures that are there, but rather to the freedom that we're about to experience on the soul level, that our souls are not going to be tied down by anything from this world, and we're going to go out and we're going to renew our journey, even in the more difficult moments, that we're still in Mitzrayim and getting Shabbos HaChodesh, we're still in a time of restriction, and yet we're able to, and time of pressure, able to generate that energy that's needed to bring renewal to our relationships, to focus on our soulmate with a renewed look, to really look at them fresh as special people like we did when we first went out, to renew the relationship constantly, that monthly cycle of renewal, and to do the same with our children in experiencing their journey. They've all been up to stuff the last few months, to be able to tune into what they've been up to, what they're interested in, what their new interests, and to take interest in that, and not just the phones and all the hustle and bustle. One of the things I think, don't have that much going on Pesach, even though that's difficult financially, but in terms of the Unity bookings, it's more after Pesach this year, only 1 or 2 bookings, a mentalist, or this or that. So I'm going to have the opportunity to really, really live up to this, hopefully, if I got the right mindset and the determination, the will, and I'll pray for it as well, to just be focused this Pesach and to be there for the Seder night and for each day, for the Hallel, and to be there with the family to sing and eat together and drink together, do fun things, try to get trampolines so they have something to jump around on, go out on those trips that are reasonable but also fun, and to be there in present, go to the sea, have a little picnic there, do little nice things, go into the garden, go for walks, the weather's nice, get together hopefully in a community. All these kind of things are important and needed, and that will give the renewal to then go after Pesach into the next time period of the build up towards the summer months, to be able to have the blessing and to be able to bring down what's needed to then be able to go on the next story, where during the summer holiday that we'll be able to have the blessing then as well, and as life goes on. So the concept is that renewal is a big part of being able to succeed in that, and it's a lot to do with freeing up the control aspect of our life, letting go. As Gedalia always says, start singing the song Let It Go. We have to let go, and really just not think we need to control our life or control our success, and go on that journey together. And with that, we will have the ability to hopefully have a happy Pesach. We hope, before I sign out now, my Relationship Flow podcast, you'll check out the links below, and we'll be hearing from my soulmate at TeenyPop613, as well as checking out my daughter Rivkala on YouTube. It should be easy to find, and hopefully and I'll put the link hopefully below as well. Just be blessed, everyone, and don't give up on your journey with your soulmate. Always have hope. Always know that once you're together, that's meant to be, and enjoy that blessing of having another person in your life. And if you haven't found that person yet, the rabbi said this week, you can marry the soul level as well. You have a connection to eternity also. There's an inner soul level that you can be partner with, learn to connect to your inner self, and we can all can find happiness within. And that's the true place, which is eternity, and then hopefully that manifests as the ultimate unification of all of us, with a beautiful Pesach, a time of singing and joy, and a time of freedom. Amen. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Pesach. Welcome to the second part of Relationship Flow. We are continuing happily with my soulmate, Masha Goldsmith, aka TeenyPop613. How you doing?
Hi, good.
Happy to have you here.
Yay.
Took a week or two to get you on the second part.
Oh, yeah.
Not surprised. It was a challenging time period.
We had a harder week.
Harder relationship flow. Not just a week, a few weeks. But we made it.
Yeah.
And we even have another podcast that we're going to do hopefully tomorrow.
We pushed through.
Yeah. So now we're in a better state that we can do this. But it's also the pre-Pesach, the Pesach preps or Passover 2023 can sometimes be a bit intimidating. Is that right?
What?
You get a bit intimidated by the approaching festival.
So Purim I find much harder than Pesach. Purim makes me much more overwhelmed. I do enjoy Pesach, but just as I think spoke about like a while ago, and one of the things that it's just been I'm just a bit more burnt out and tired, so I was figuring out how to simplify and stuff. That's why Purim actually worked out, because we did simplify and people were really, really nice where we live.
Shout out to the Efrat community.
Pesach, if I spoke probably 2 weeks ago, be like, how am I gonna do it? How am I gonna make Pesach? How am I gonna do it? But
now you're feeling the hope.
But the thing is that first of all, I work with systems, so I have a system how I do it. like when I do each thing, and so I work well that way. Second of all, as you start, it really is everything that you do is very spiritual. There's a reason for what you're doing, and as I said, I also have learned to simplify.
So, and another word is organize that you've used. And I'm just going to say something, a very spiritual concept that we know about the Seder night. It says, the Midnightrabbi said, Kol b'Seder, everything's in the Seder night. The idea Seder means organization, like everything has a place and a time and a person. So that in itself, if you tune into that energy, is very freeing. Like you think
I think that's
organization is control, but it's actually the opposite. It's freeing up.
I think that's why
because you know
like
where everything
Pesach.
is, where the place is. There's clarity.
But it is hard work, even though I'm just doing what has to be done and simplifying.
Well, I always see you shine so much on Pesach. I think we had a good time Purim this year, which was important, step forward in our own relationship flow, because there is an aspect of learning to let go a bit.
Also, we overcame from between Purim until now. It was challenging,
but it's meant to be.
And we,
in a way,
we kind of pushed through.
You know, even like right now on a global level, on an Israel level, there's a lot of tension and stress right now in the country for all different reasons. But the point is that we have to allow space and process to get to Pesach in a way that when we get to the festival, we should be able to experience it like it's meant to be, which is a time of freedom.
It's like tapping into what it's really about.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing the preparations for it, like, you know, the cleaning and stuff, it's remember what you're doing it for, what it's all about, and also really what has to be done. So then if you're doing like what has to be done, and just don't look what everyone else is doing with spring cleaning and stuff, because other times of year,
or even
those kind of
more
things.
People going to Pesach programs or all the extravagant stuff that's going on. Or if in terms of my Unity bookings, I could be wanting to like be getting all my acts of the biggest programs around and all that competition out there, but instead just focusing on what we did accomplish and who we are and what we are doing.
Focusing on our little unit, us, each other, our family, our home, because it's a time of like planting seeds, and how we prepare for Pesach and how we spend Pesach plants the seeds for the new year.
Yeah, and I've always felt like after Pesach we always come out with a new like shefa, a new like abundance, like this sort of new energy.
Yeah.
And that is needed right now. We like need that in our flow. And
also just in terms of what we're talking about, like the more rougher type, like it's been a bit like tough and just each, you know, you and yourself and me and myself just, you know, we're a little bit more burnt out at the moment, or just things have just been more tougher. And so we were kind of not taking it out on each other, but like, I guess we're more tense or whatever. So it was easier to get upset with each other, because like expecting that each other, like, you should make me feel better, I should make you feel better, save me, you know. But and then it's like, why you not, or why can't like you be okay? For at least for me, I'm like looking at you, why can't you smile or be more positive, which is important, but I'm
smiling now.
I also realize, like, I also have to look at myself. Like, sometimes I have these expectations of you, and then how I want you to act, and then I'm thinking,
because a lot of people
that
are close that we felt a bit let down recently.
Am I doing that? Am I doing what I want? And just realizing that we are, you know, we are soulmates, but we also can't take that for granted, and we have to nurture it and water it and
enjoy it. There will be good times.
And when being more positive to each other brings out the positive in that, like when I'm more positive energy towards you brings out the positive.
Yeah, we're like mirrors to each other.
And then it really...
and shining each other
this
rather
week
than...
we've been doing that very much, like each one has been trying to give over more positive energy to the other, or looking at each other's good, or giving more appreciation, which is then, it's like...
And then the energy flows.
Then it's made a much better flow, even though...
So we could do the
nothing's really changed,
podcast,
right?
Because at one point we were like, "How can we even do this? We're not flowing. So then, how can we do it?" But
I can't talk about relationship flow if I didn't feel like we were. Things
we even
were
had
flowing.
to cancel like a online podcast with someone.
I'm just very sincere.
Because we were like about to kill each other, not like so. We're like,
no, I'm not going to go on and. So we needed to work through that and then figure.
Not that we're putting on a show when we do the podcast, because we've earned this. This is our relationship.
But we needed to kind of figure it out. It's like sometimes it's, you get into a little bit of a rut or something.
Yeah, and you also need patience. So anyway, we're wishing everyone a happy Pesach, happy Passover 2023. Anything to say? Any advice for all the busy people out there?
Stay true to yourself. Don't look at what anyone else is doing. And
what's the most?
Simplify.
Just one more point to end off. What's the most inspirational point about Pesach for you, other than this organization? The renewal. Like, when do you feel it?
After all the hard work, and it's
can't believe it's next week.
You come to the same, and you just feel like you have, like, everything just feels fresh and new.
A new soul.
Light makes me happy.
Amazing. Take that with you guys, and I can't wait to hear your relationship flow. Once again, we have all the links below, and looking forward to a beautiful Pesach coming up, beautiful new spring days. Enjoy. Bye.